10 architectural projects that will shape the world. Part 1. The year 2026 is no ordinary one for global architecture. It's the year when the boldest, most ambitious, and future-defining projects will rise from the ground simultaneously. From the sun-scorched deserts of Arabia to European harbors, from Asia's tech hubs to regions once overlooked by investors, architecture is becoming the universal language of nations, aiming to enter the 21st century, not with weapons, but with vision. And here's the kicker. It's not the usual powerhouses like the US or China leading this wave. Instead, countries and cities long underestimated are proving something remarkable. They're no longer building to catch up. They're building to surpass. Watch Top 10 Discoveries Official as we explore 11 architectural projects that could redefine how the world is seen and lived in. Not just through height or investment value, but through the philosophy, technology, and ambition embedded in every blueprint. And if you think architecture is just lifeless concrete, you might want to stick around until the end of this video. First, Grand Ring, Osaka. In Japan, a nation known for towering TV spires and subway systems pulsing like urban arteries, 2025 brings something entirely different. Not glass, not steel, but wood. The Grand Ring, a massive wooden circle spanning 2 kilometers on the artificial island of Yumeshima, is the centerpiece of Expo 2025 Osaka, Kansai. Among an event hosting over 160 nations, with cutting-edge national pavilions showcasing futuristic tech. The largest structure is crafted from humanity's oldest material. Covering over 61,000 square meters, the Grand Ring has been recognized by Guinness as the largest wooden structure ever built. Designed by architect Su Fujimoto, it's not just a space, but a philosophy made tangible. Unity in diversity. It doesn't soar skyward as a solitary statement, but embraces the entire site, weaving together every destination and culture at the expo into a single cohesive loop, a quintessentially Japanese way of expressing wholeness. In practice, the Grand Ring is more than a symbol. It's the operational backbone of the expo. It serves as a connecting corridor, a canopy shielding visitors from sun and rain, and a 20-meter-high skywalk offering views of Osaka Bay, the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge, and the crowds below. It's a structure designed to disappear, not competing for attention with national pavilions, but supporting and enveloping them in an architectural embrace. Yet beneath its apparent simplicity lies unprecedented technical complexity. With over 70% of its materials sourced from Japanese cedar and cypress, supplemented by European timber, the Grand Ring blends centuries-old Japanese nuki joint techniques, relying on gravity rather than screws, with the most advanced modern construction methods. Using 70% Japanese cedar and cypress, the structure employs traditional nuki joint techniques. No screws, just gravity. The Grand Ring isn't just a canopy or corridor linking 160 nations. It embodies unity and diversity, with a 20-meter skywalk opening views to Osaka Bay. From its groundbreaking in June 2023 to the completion of its full circumference in August 2024, every segment was a puzzle of load-bearing, expansion, and weather resistance. Temperature, humidity, sea winds, every factor was calculated to the millimeter. When the final loop closed, the Grand Ring wasn't just a finished project, it was a rare architectural moment where engineering and philosophy became one. Of course, not everyone agrees. The 34.4 billion yen budget, nearly $300 million, has been criticized as extravagant, especially since only 12.5% of the structure is planned for reuse after the expo. Debates over carbon emissions from timber harvesting, public investment efficiency, and environmental impact continue to rage in the press. But agree or not, no one can deny that the Grand Ring is an extraordinary statement in an era of steel and concrete megacities. It challenges modern glass and steel construction, setting a precedent for temporary architecture with sustainable materials and urging global cities to rethink resource use. While many projects chase height, the Grand Ring opts for breadth to connect, suggesting that future architecture might prioritize community over individuality. The Grand Ring doesn't need to be tall to impress. It just needs to be wide enough for everyone to have a place. 2. New Sydney Fish Market. When it comes to world-shaping architecture, people often picture skyscrapers, cultural museums, or multi-million-dollar stadiums. But in Sydney, Australia, a building is being crafted not to rise higher, but to draw closer. Not to flaunt power, but to nurture it from the roots. Food, livelihoods, and community connection. The new Sydney Fish Market, located at the head of Blackwattle Bay in Glebe, is more than a seafood marketplace. It's part of a strategy to redefine Sydney's urban identity, elevating cuisine from a secondary role to the foundation of sustainable development, tourism, and culture. Set to open in 2025, this project will fully replace the existing fish market, operating since 1945, with a modern complex designed to welcome over 6 million visitors annually. With an investment of 750 million Australian dollars, the new Sydney Fish Market is one of the largest non-transport infrastructure projects in New South Wales this decade. Designed by leading architects from 3XN, BVN, and Aspect Studios, the building features a wave-like roof with fish-scale patterns, a direct nod to its purpose in a subtle architectural statement. It's not just a roof, it's a symbol. Inside, it's a multi-layered culinary ecosystem. Restaurants, bars, seafood retail, specialty shops, processing hubs, and a public promenade along the bay, linking the market to ferries, parks, and downtown streets. Spanning over 26,000 square meters, with 417 parking spaces, 6,000 square meters of public space, and a modernized wharf, the new Sydney Fish Market isn't just a place to buy fish, it's a true culinary hub. What sets this project apart and earns its place among world-defining structures isn't its cost, but its redefinition of a public building's role in modern cities. In Sydney, they didn't build a landmark for tourist selfies. They built a hub for urban life, creating 700 construction jobs, sustaining 725 permanent jobs, and expecting to double the city's annual visitors through fish. Yet behind the glossy facade lie challenges worth noting. Construction in Blackwattle Bay has raised significant environmental concerns, particularly for marine ecosystems. Despite numerous sustainability initiatives, 100% renewable diesel, eco-friendly materials, and filtering over 1 billion liters of water for microplastics via the Seaban project, only 60% of materials were recycled, short of the 80% target. This has sparked concerns about marine ecosystems, though oyster reef restoration efforts aim to mitigate impacts. But these debates are precisely what make the project significant. In a world where cities are losing the connection between people, food, and land, the new Sydney Fish Market is an effort to restore that balance. Not through nostalgia, but through architecture, technology, and public policy. A fish market, now a microcosm of an entire economy, of tourism, of the relationship between people and nature. It proves architecture can bridge food, tourism, and community, offering a model for global cities losing touch with their roots. By prioritizing public space and sustainability, the project inspires human-centered design trends. 3. Life and Mind Building, Oxford, a place where Gothic architecture and ivy-covered stone walls have symbolized British scholarship for nearly a millennium. But amid these ancient spires, a new structure is quietly redefining the relationship between space, people, and academic thought. It's not just a building, it's an ecosystem for science, interdisciplinary thinking, and global ambition. It's the Life and Mind Building. Spanning over 25,000 square meters, this is the largest structure ever built in Oxford University's near-millennial history. Replacing the Tynbergen Building, a 20th century science icon, it's a modern research hub where two seemingly disparate fields, experimental psychology and biology, will coexist for the first time in a space designed to dismantle barriers. The Life and Mind Building isn't just an academic facility, it's an architectural argument. To spark scientific breakthroughs, you must redesign the spaces where they're born. From labs to lecture halls, from testing areas to atriums, everything here is crafted to foster cross-pollination, not just between disciplines, but between people. With 2 blocks, a 4-story steel structure and a 5-story concrete one, The building exemplifies scientized architecture. Walls don't just support, they inspire. Labs aren't isolated but integrated with teaching and interaction spaces. Designed by NBBJ, a pioneering US studio, it's what they call architecture for collaboration. The numbers are substantial, 152 million pounds, with 100 million pounds from chemical giant Ineos to establish the Oxford Antibiotic Research Institute. It houses 1,200 researchers, 800 students, achieves a 40% carbon emissions reduction under Part L standards, and targets net zero by 2030. Every component, from smart heating to advanced labs, is prefabricated, with over 1,400 construction hours completed before assembly. But the life in Mindbuilding is more than modern, it's symbolic. Stone walls, steel frames, and glass roofs blend the old and new, evoking an Oxford that's instantly recognizable, yet daring to venture into uncharted territory. This vision isn't just in reports, it's in real-world figures. 716,000 safe labor hours, 50 local jobs, 17 trained apprentices, and 27 supported social enterprises. A hub of knowledge, but also of community. Proof that even the most traditional academic bastion can be the boldest in research infrastructure innovation. When completed in 2025, the Life in Mindbuilding won't just be a new Oxford landmark. It will be a clear statement to the world. The next great scientific discoveries won't come from solitary ideas, but from collaboration, synergy, and a space designed to make it happen. By balancing heritage and technology, it inspires global universities to redesign research environments, prioritizing collaboration over isolation. Its impact extends beyond Oxford, urging knowledge hubs to invest in spaces tackling global challenges like antibiotic resistance. The project shows architecture can catalyze discovery, posing the question, will other academic cities dare to innovate similarly? Fourth Canadian school, Cholula. In the land of Popocatépetl volcano and the ancient Cholula pyramid, a new architectural language is being written, not with the rigid lines of traditional classrooms, but with soft curves evoking nature, history, and how children explore the world. This is the Canadian school, Cholula, a school designed not just to teach, but to converse with its surroundings. Apart from the boxy structures of conventional schools, the Canadian school is organized into 7 interlocking circular forms, like man-made hills, academic mounds where classrooms aren't confined by walls, but interwoven with nature. Children don't just enter class, they climb it, run around it, sit atop it. This school, as architect Fernando Sordo Madaleno puts it, doesn't sit beside a playground, it is the playground. Rooted in the Alberta curriculum, ranked among the world's best, with Canada consistently topping PISA scores, the Canadian school Cholula blends progressive pedagogy with a reimagined relationship between architecture and human development. Be about to offer a fully English language program from preschool to grade 12. It connects global education with Mexico's local culture and landscape. Located in San Pedro Cholula, the western gateway to Puebla, the campus exemplifies intentional design, blending into the terrain, harnessing natural light, and recreating a living in nature feel within a school setting. Spanning roughly 10,000 square meters, it features 7 circular blocks resembling natural hills. Following the Alberta curriculum, PISA score 532, surpassing the OECD average of 489, serving 1,000 students from preschool to grade 12 with bilingual instruction. Estimated at $50 to $100 million, the project reflects significant investment in private education. Designed by Sordo Madaleno Arquitectos, a Mexican studio known for organic projects like Nestlé's HQ, it includes high-tech classrooms, modern labs, sports facilities, green experimentation zones, and an internal park system, all within a flowing, cornerless structure to reduce stress. Though still under construction as of mid-2025, the Canadian school Cholula has sparked significant local interest, not just for its elegance, but for its rare philosophy, building a school not to teach, but to nurture curiosity, freedom, and a sense of belonging. Yet such an organic academic project isn't without skepticism. Its structural reuse rate is only 12.5%, below initial targets. Some question whether using vast amounts of wood and resources for a private school is justified amid a growing environmental crisis. But the Canadian school Cholula chooses to be a pioneer. It's a school, but also a message. Education can be where nature and knowledge intersect, where culture meets globalization, and where local memory blends with international dreams. The Canadian school redefines educational spaces, turning schools into ecosystems that foster creativity and natural connection. It sets a trend for global school architecture, where children learn through experience rather than four walls. By integrating local culture with international education, it inspires developing nations to balance tradition and modernity. Fifth, Teco International Airport. On the global infrastructure map, Cambodia has rarely been a focal point, but in 2025, a milestone will force the world to take notice. One of Southeast Asia's largest airports, spanning 2,600 hectares with a capacity for 50 million passengers annually, will open just south of Phnom Penh. Its name? Techo International Airport. This isn't just an airport. It's a physical declaration that a small nation, once defined by a tragic past, is now shaping its future through design, technology, and visionary planning on a global stage. Techo didn't start as a fanciful dream. It began with a practical need. Phnom Penh's current airport is overstretched, limited by infrastructure, and unable to serve as a regional hub. Instead of a simple expansion, Cambodia chose to redefine itself, building anew in Tak Mau, where rice fields and lakes have become the foundation for a $1.5 billion megaproject. Its defining feature is its architectural approach. Designed by Foster Plus Partners, the studio behind Beijing Daxing Airport, Apple Park, and global icons, Teco aims to be one of the world's greenest airports. Interiors flood with natural light, greenery pierces through roofs, and iconic wooden structures resemble trees supporting a steel canopy, a harmonious blend of Khmer tradition and modern aesthetics. Of course, like all mega projects, Techo has faced controversies. Over 400 families displaced, protests over compensation, and a collapsed funding deal with China. Yet instead of faltering, the project attracted new funding from bonds, domestic conglomerate OCIC, and recently, potential Japanese partners. Techo proves that infrastructure tied to national identity can find a way forward, even after losing its primary investor. Technically, the green terminal uses natural light and Khmer wood, with a 4-kilometer runway capable of handling Boeing 747s and Airbus A380s. A seamless roof integrates all processes, check-in, security, immigration, and shopping, into a smart, unified complex. Most crucially, it's built to scale. 13 million passengers in Phase 1, 30 million in Phase 2, and up to 50 million eventually, rivaling Bangkok's Suvarnabhumi. Contributing 2% to Cambodia's GDP and creating 20,000 jobs, it will handle 10% of ASEAN air traffic by 2030. Symbolically, Techo is Cambodia's answer to those who thought the nation had little beyond Angkor Wat. It's the 21st century Angkor, not religious, but technological and infrastructural, a logistics, commerce, transport, and diplomatic hub, placing Cambodia on Asia's aviation map. Familiar with hubs like LAX or JFK, the question arises, if a once underestimated nation like Cambodia can build something like Techo, what's shifting in the global architectural order? From the giant timber rings of Osaka to the lush green domes of Phnom Penh, from a humble fish market that transformed into Sydney's economic hub, to a school where children learn by running and climbing over man-made hills in Cholula, we see that 21st century architecture is no longer just a game of steel, glass, and massive budgets. It is evolving, becoming more human-centered, more connected to nature, and more aligned with the quiet yet persistent aspirations of nations once overlooked by the world. And this is only the first half of the journey. Even bolder, crazier, and more ambitious projects are hiding in places you would never expect. Stay tuned for part 2 of 10 architectural projects that will shape the world, where the boundary between dreams and reality will continue to bend, shaped by concrete, light, and ideas the world has never seen before. And if you think this video deserves to be shared, don't forget to hit like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Top 10 Discoveries Official, where we bring you the most spectacular discoveries, the greatest architectural marvels, and the untold stories from every corner of the world.